A game is on the horizon that I believe will change the face of tactical gaming in a profound way. It is my most anticipated game, maybe of all time. It is certainly my most anticipated VR game of all time. And the game is called Geronimo. I've talked about it on the channel a little bit before, and it is essentially my dream game. It is a tactical shooter that focuses on realism and close quarters battle done in virtual reality. The game claims to have intelligent AI. They're integrating procedurally generated scenarios and structures. It has an emphasis on co-op. They're putting a high degree of detail into weapon and kit customization. And it just looks like everything I want out of a VR tactical shooter. I think it's going to take VR enthusiasts who also enjoy firearms, who also enjoy tactical shooters to the next level. Think Ready or Not or Ground Branch, except in a virtual reality environment that's so immersive you can turn around and be completely enveloped in this phenomenal experience. But today there is some bad news, because my friends over at Geronimo recently announced that the game is delayed until further notice. At first, they were shooting for a 1 December 2022 release date, and the notice that they put out on Discord essentially reflected that they had received so much positive feedback from the community that they wanted to polish the game more, integrate more systems, make more progress, and release the game when it is in a state that they can be proud of, with as much content and as many features as possible. I'm disappointed that the game isn't coming out on the 1st of December, but I'm hopeful that the message that they send is done in good faith and that the final product that we see will be even better than the one that we would have had we received the game in an earlier state. And I do still have faith in the developers, because we've already seen insane progress in the level of development and all of the features and the systems and the content that they have already added and shared with the community. I also have faith in the team because they are taking feedback and they are rapidly instituting changes into their test build at a rate that AAA studios typically don't even achieve. I have a great relationship with Pebbles and Stilton, the guys who are making this game, and I trust them. But as someone who is communicating about this product to my audience, I do still feel like I have an obligation to be unbiased and impartial to the greatest degree possible, despite the fact that I am buddies with these guys and I am looking forward to the game. But I can share that I've had a lot of private conversations with these guys, and they're taking feedback that me and others are giving to them, and they are putting this stuff in the game in days and weeks. Like, it's insane. We had a conversation about breaching charges, and I encouraged them to consider adding shock tube to the game so that when you prime the initiator, you see a flash go down the shock tube to an explosive breach on a door and blow the door open. That was added within days of me talking to them about it. One of the other consultants on the game encouraged them to implement a system that blended virtual reality with an animation that allowed you to present the weapon so that it snaps neatly into the crevice of the shoulder rather than clipping through the body like in virtually every other VR shooter. So they're listening and they're implementing stuff fast. And today I've got some updates from them that they've shared over in Discord and authorized me to share with you guys. And I want to show you what they've been working on. First, their AI behavior seems to be coming along really, really nicely. In the past, we've looked at the cover system, and in a video that they shared on Discord not too long ago, we saw an operator approach a door, go to put a charge on the door, and an AI inside the structure heard them, so it was an audible compromise, and began firing through the door. So now we have AI that will fire through the door. This is super important in CQB because it's going to force players to stay out of the fatal funnel, to address the tactical side of the door, make sure they understand where they are with respect to the initial peak and where the door handle is, and consider splitting stacks versus heavy side, and all those other little decisions that are imperative whenever you're working in a close fight. Second, they showed off their arrest mechanics. Super simple so far, but in all the other tactical experiences I've seen in VR, like Fast and Low and in Onward and some of these other games, there are no mechanics that allow you to detain individuals. But in a tactical shooter, specifically one where you've got to do some hostage rescue, or maybe there's some escalation of force challenges that want to restrict the amount of firepower you can bring to the fight, or force you to discriminate against shoot and no shoot targets, or capture rather than kill a high value individual, you need the ability to detain someone. And so they've added a simple mechanic that causes someone to surrender. You approach them, you have to holster your weapon, potentially have a buddy providing security, and then you have to take the hands from above their head, put it behind their back, and put flex cuffs on them to secure them and make sure that they are no longer a threat to you. One of the really cool features they've added recently is a kit builder and a gun builder. I alluded to the kit builder last time I published a video about Geronimo, and they showed off an initial version of it. I have to assume that this has changed quite a bit just because of the pace of development, but the first build they showed off is a plate carrier and a sub belt in a ready room wall locker. And the player can actually manipulate all these objects and pouches in the virtual reality 3D space, position all of your kit as you would want it done. So you can put 3 mags on the front of your chest, move your holster around, add pouches, take away pouches, whatever the case may be, build your ideal kit for aesthetics and functionality and for the mission, and then take that kit into the fight. They've said they're going to add multiple different types of plate carriers. There's a lot of different pouch options. You're going to be able to build an operator exactly how you want it to look. You can also customize the appearance of the operator. So they've got phenomenal options so far as the clothing that operator is going to be wearing, all sorts of different camouflage patterns, jeans or tactical pants or t-shirts, whatever the case may be. They've got a lot of customization. Think kind of like Ground Branch when you're doing the whole tactical Barbie thing, so that you can make your dude look exactly how you want him to look before going into the fight, or help with target discrimination if you're going on to an objective with buddies at nighttime. You want to be able to quickly identify who your teammates are by the type of kit that they are wearing, the type of weapon that they are carrying. All of that is now doable in the game. They also showed a preview of their weapon builder. This system isn't fully fleshed out yet, but they've clearly made a lot of progress on it. And the way it works is they are going to allow you to choose the lower receiver or the platform for your gun, and then modify the muzzle device and the barrel and the optic and the stock and the magazine. So you can achieve a pretty high level of customization and build your kit for the specific mission, for the aesthetics that you're looking for, and then go into fight with that kit that you've made. You can even choose the color of the weapon. So clearly achieving a very high level of customization beyond anything that I have seen in virtual reality before. And I think it's really worth getting excited about it. Next thing I can tell you guys about is the shoot house. So they previewed a shoot house that features a pretty well-designed, realistic-looking shoot house, some corner-fed rooms, center-fed rooms, connecting rooms, adjacent threats, long hallways, the whole deal, with steel targets in it, which may not be realistic in a shoot house, but still it works, gives great shooter feedback, and it has shoot and no-shoot targets in it. And there's a catwalk overhead so that a player can be up high, evaluating a group of dudes going below or giving them feedback while someone below is working through it. That looks like a blast. Hopefully that there will be, some sort of option to either build your own shoot house or randomly generate one so you can get reps before going into a live map. And then we saw updates to some of the maps that we already knew were in the game, as well as some new maps. The first thing is updates to the Osama bin Laden compound, famous from Operation Neptune Spear, located in Abbottabad, Pakistan. And this is the first time we've seen really high resolution images from in the game on that actual map. And it looks fantastic. If you compare it to some of the satellite imagery and some of the diagrams that were released after Operation Neptune Spear when Osama bin Laden was killed, this is damn near spot on. They've even got the crashed helicopter on the west side of the compound with its tail up on the compound wall. So a lot of attention to detail. Very, very excited to explore that map. They also showed off a new map, which is very clearly the famous Operation Nimrod, where SAS stormed the Iranian embassy in London to rescue 26 hostages. Of course, in that tragic incident, one hostage was unfortunately killed in the process. Despite that, pretty miraculous save by the SAS. And that's going to be an interesting one too, because there's a lot of verticality on that map. And I highly doubt that it's going to be one of those just land on the roof or go in through the bottom. So now it's got me asking the question in my head, is there some sort of rappel system? Because famously there's this footage of the SAS entering the Iranian embassy on rappel, going through the window, explosive breach, entering in it, getting violent really quick. So that'll be very interesting to see how that one develops. The next image comes from a map. I don't know exactly where it is. I'm taking a stab at it though. I think it's from the Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi raid, the former leader of ISIS who was killed by U.S. Special Operations Forces. And it looks like it's in Syria. I found some satellite imagery and some open source journalism imagery from the site of that raid. The color scheme matches, very much looks like Syria. Has an orchard out to the front of the compound, looks like the right type of building structure, mountains in the background. Certainly looks like Syria, certainly looks like a match to the imagery that I'm seeing coming from the Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi raid. It'll be interesting to see if I nailed that one. Let me know in the comments below if I missed. The one that I can't speak to specifically is this jungle map that they showed off. Super thick vegetation, brutal sightlines and visibility. Fighting in the jungle is absolutely miserable. Same can be said for swamps or anything where there's thick vegetation, limited visibility. But I am excited to see the variety of levels, so that we're going to have the experience of fighting in close quarters in super urban areas during daytime, during nighttime, and now also in this thick vegetation as well. So I think they're onto something. I'm still stoked about this game. I don't know when it's going to come out. I will share all the information about Geronimo as I learn it with you guys. I do think it's a revolutionary idea. It is my dream game. If I was a game developer, this is the game that I would make first. And I have a lot of faith in these guys. I think they're going to nail it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are they going to pull it off? Are you excited? Do you own VR? Is this the game that is going to cause you to purchase VR? I want to hear back from you guys. If you enjoyed the content, I encourage you guys to subscribe to the channel for more tactical gaming content where we use realistic military tactics and doctrine and apply it in games without taking ourselves too seriously. I'm Controlled Pairs. This has been Geronimo, and I'll see you guys in the next one.